line never ends. You're a bold one to approach so fearlessly. Give me a good reason to speak with you. I'll make it seem like you're here at my request. Otherwise, my subjects will think you cut the line and start sizing you up for dinner. How are you at building embassies? You see, Queen Irene promised one would be built for the Khajiit as a gesture of goodwill. But now a year has passed and there's still no Khajiit embassy. This has led to no end of headaches. Good question. You wish to serve the Comoran throne? You can start by asking Prince Naaman why his people aren't fulfilling their promises. He's the one who seems to have the entire Elden Tree lodged up his flue.
Yes? Quickly now. Don't leave your mouth to hang agape. That again? My sister, Queen Irene, foolishly committed to build the Khajiit an embassy months ago. Everything was to be handled through Ambassador Tarinwe at the Ultima Embassy. Ask a stonemason. I have to prepare for the ratification ceremony before Queen Irene's arrival. I can't be troubled with such minor issues. If you care to pursue the matter, speak with Ambassador Tarinwe at the Ultima Embassy. Oh, we need an archaic...
You're not one for waiting in lines, are you?
Do what you promised.
I suppose a wanderer like you wouldn't know what busy looks like. I will demonstrate. Feel free to observe, quietly and from a distance. Forgive my manners. There's so much to do in preparing for Queen Irene's ratification ceremony. Tempers fray, as I'm sure you can understand. But if Prince Naaman sent you, it must be important. What can I do for you? Why would Prince Naaman care about that? If they're too lazy to build their own embassy, can't they afford an inn? Well, Of course, I ordered it done. I hired some wood elves to excavate the stone and set aside supplies for Khajiit to use. It isn't my fault if the locals couldn't do their jobs. Check our storeroom. The Khajiit didn't even bother to pick up the supplies. In the meantime, I'm off to locate Prince Naaman. If he didn't send you here with his blessing, I'll see you face Dominion justice. We'll see what Prince Naaman thinks of your impertinent questions.
This one is tired of waiting!
That's far enough. The storeroom is off limits. Ambassador Tarin weighs orders. She did? That's different then. Show me her orders and I'll stand aside. Then I can't let you inside. Her instructions were very specific. No one gets in without her written permission. I'm to remain at my post until relieved. Except in an emergency, of course. The Khajiits could riot. That would be bad. Very bad. Or a fire, of course. But the chances of that happening are slim. Very well. I'll be here waiting.
How can you ignore your allies like this?
It is no use. The High Elves care nothing about their promises to the Khajiit. Of course, we hope the ambassador would hear our voice, but it seems those stone walls are too thick. Perhaps the sound of rocks against her embassy walls would bring her out. What? No. But if the ambassador is going to sit in her well-constructed embassy, she won't remain oblivious. A few rocks cluttering against her walls should remind her of what we lack. Thank you, my friend. Come out!
Stop that!
Come out and talk to... Finally, this one is...
You'll start a riot, you fool. This isn't the way.
Where is the guard? And what are you doing here? I'd expected you would solve problems at the embassy, not cause them. Do you realize what's happening out here? Oh, never mind. Explain what you were doing. Why would she do that? Oh, never mind. Well, what did you find? Typical bureaucratic corruption. I expected better of the ambassador. No matter. Supplies can be replaced. What about the Khajiit embassy? Did she say why construction hasn't begun? What do you mean, collect stone? That should have happened months ago. They should be ready to build it. I'll talk to the ambassador myself. Put the fear of the Dominion into her. I'm surprised we didn't pass each other on the road. Get to those ruins and find that work crew. I want to know why they haven't done their jobs. I won't have Queen Iren's word impugned by someone else's incompetence.
Saw you standing over the body of a dead wood elf. Nearly put an arrow in your throat. Good thing I recognise you. Azerith, I'm Dusk Ranger. We work directly for King Camoran Eredon. Saw you earlier in the throne room. The king had his suspicions about the missing work crew and asked me to look into it. Seems we both have a stake in this. I know enough. Khajiit owed an embassy. They're angry the High Elves are dragging their feet to build it. Seemed like politics until a dozen stonemasons vanished without a trace. The king sent me to find out why. Before the Dominion, King Camoran Eredon nearly lost a civil war. I came to see if the missing stonemasons were targeted by the Blacksap Rebellion. But Blacksap would have displayed the bodies, not left them as food for Horvor. The king suspects Ambassador Tarinwe has been up to no good. Little things, some of her associations. But he can't accuse his allies of undermining the whole alliance. So he sent me to deal with it. Ambassador Tarinwe used criminals to smuggle supplies. Never directly, but enough for us to notice. I'm not saying she had these stonemasons killed, but I'd like to ask her myself. Problem is, there's nothing we can do while she's in the Altmer embassy. If she left the embassy, she knows someone's onto her. She'll go to ground, try to flee. Have someone smuggle her out of Grotwood. We should probably stop her. Meet me by the Middens, at the base of the Elden Tree. I'll be there shortly.
Orc, Cyril? I don't guess you've run into a big, lumbering brute of an orc in your travels. Named Storg. Was a friend of mine. Emphasis on the was. I'm in a pile of trouble because of him. Maybe you've heard of the Rite of Theft, a Wood Elf tradition. If you pull off a particularly clever theft, you can demand payment from the owner for their things. Well, I stole this Tree Thane's bow, and then Storg stole the bow from me. The Tree Thane wants his bow back, and if I can't give it to him, he's going to have me hauled in and whipped. Last I heard, Storg was headed toward Vine Death Cave. The Tree Thane won't let me leave town. Could you look for Storg?
They call this place the Middens because it's where all the refuse ends up. We clear them out now and again, but they always come back. Necessary evil, I'm told. Spoke with someone I trust. She's definitely here. We should get moving. Capture her, bring her in for questioning. Find proof she's behind this so Prince Naaman doesn't explode with outrage. Never thought I'd hunt a high elf ambassador. Smugglers, skooma addicts, and more than a few criminals. They keep to themselves, but sometimes they band together to repel outsiders. Kind of like a filthier version of the Dominion. Our goal is to find Ambassador Tarinway before she buys passage out of Grotwood. Staying in the shadows, avoiding unnecessary conflict. That's what I do. But there's a lot of ground.
Do a poor elf a favour. Kill as many of the bastards who brought their filth in here as you can. They've beat us down.
Won't you take pity on me?
We need Ambassador Tarinway alive. But if she runs, I'm putting an arrow through her ankle.
Prince Naaman sent someone to the embassy. We have to leave before we're discovered.
Too late! For the heretics!
On your feet. You're coming with me.
Why? Where are you taking me?
To King Camoran Eredon, where you'll answer for crimes against the Dominion.
He'll have me killed and served for dinner.
Only if you're proven guilty. And if you are, none of us could stomach you. Now get moving. Good working with you. I'll take her from here. You should inform the king of the good news.
Listen to me for just a moment. It's very... Doom has come to Craglorn. The stars have vanished from the sky. Will no one listen? Will no one help? I'm an initiate in the Order of Stargazers. We study the stars and their influence on Tamriel. Not long ago, we noticed irregularities in 3 of the star signs. Shortly thereafter, strange armies overran Craglorn. One of our order, Hara, is leading our efforts to stop these attacks. But we are not warriors. This cart will take you to Belkarth in Craglorn, where you can speak to her personally. Please, help us.
Can you believe it? Dragons in your own homeland. What are we going to do?
This one does not know, but he hopes it...
Yeah. You've returned. What have you learned of the Khajiit embassy? Oh, good. Nothing I enjoy more than talk of conspiracy. Did the ambassador have a manifesto? They usually have manifestos. No matter. I trust you resolved it. Splendid. I'll allow you the honour of informing Prince Naemon. Why not tell him the duly selected High Elf ambassador was working against the very Dominion she pledged to support? I'll sit in my throne and try not to gloat.
I heard what you told the king. Ambassador Tarinway a traitor? Disgraceful. Makes the rest of us look bad. But the Dominion owes you its thanks. As Queen Ayren's representative in Eldenroot, the duty falls to me. We'll interrogate Ambassador Tarinway until we know the extent of her treason. Then she'll die, as all traitors must. But no matter. Your efficiency in resolving this matter was commendable, and the Dominion rewards its servants. Ambassador Tarinway's betrayal could not have been more absolute. She knew the details of the ratification ceremony, which puts Queen Ayren at risk. It's my sister's own fault. She thought to appease the Sylvanar and the Main by agreeing to this foolish process. The ratification ceremony ends with the orrery, an ancient device beneath Eldenroot. It will divine Queen Ayren's capacity to become Empress, or some such. But Ambassador Tarinway assisted in the preparations. I must assume she tried to sabotage the proceedings. Doing so would make Queen Ayren look weak. No, we must proceed. You've proven your competence, so I'll ask you to speak with Melaras. He's an expert on the orrery and knows what must be done. Quite pleasant once you grow accustomed to the smell. The preparations for this ratification ceremony seem endless, but I'm up to the task. She asked how she could prove herself.
Please don't mind Prince Naaman. Ambassador Turinway's betrayal is a shock to us all. But no matter, the orrery must work flawlessly for the Queen. That's what we will ensure. Enough to be of service. The orrery hasn't functioned as intended for ages. We planned to use some rather delicate magic to trick it into operation. But if Prince Naaman believes there was sabotage, we must look to an alternative method. Why, we'll look to the past. According to legend, the orrery required a skilled operator, an alien source of power, and a divine spark before it would function. Without all three, it won't do anything but spin. Quite pretty, but not very useful. Please don't mind. I've researched this a bit. Really, you need to be in 3 places at once. Simple, right? But the Fallen Esti winter site is rumoured to hold a relic of the Khajiiti thief god. For our purposes, Ratchin's mantle will serve as the divine spark, if it's truly there, of course. Please don't mind Prince Naaman. Ambassador Turinway's betrayal is a shock to us all. But no matter, the orrery must work flawlessly for the Queen. That's what we will ensure. Enough to be of service. The orrery hasn't functioned as intended for ages. We planned to use some rather delicate magic to trick it into operation. But if Prince Naaman believes there was sabotage, we must look to an alternative method. Why, we'll look to the past. According to legend, the orrery required a skilled operator, an alien source of power, and a divine spark before it would function. Without all 3, it won't do anything but spin. Quite pretty, but not very useful. Conservator Darineth maintains the orrery and has studied the Ayleid monitoring rituals. Unfortunately, she was called away to South Point for a personal matter. If you can locate her and convince her to return, we'll have our operator. The heart of a numeral originally brought life to the orrery, according to the texts. It long ago went missing. But a member of the local Mages Guild named Larinalda theorizes it's in a local Ayleid ruin. She's currently at the relic... I've researched this a bit. Really, you need to be in 3 places at once. Simple, right? But the Fallen Esti winter site is rumoured to hold a relic of the Khajiiti thief god. For our purposes, Ratchin's mantle will serve as the divine spark, if it's truly there, of course. Wonderful! Have anything you find sent directly to the orrery. Once everything is in place, we can begin the ratification ceremony. And do refrain from referring to Conservator Darineth as a missing element.
Sorry, friend. I have... This could be the key to filling in the gaps of the veil. Sorry, friend. I have no time to chat. One of my subordinates recently came across something very interesting. Something that can make our time in this dreadful land worthwhile. You? Can you even read Never mind. You have the look of an adventurer, and maybe that is what I need now more than another scholar. It was a stone fragment etched with Aelid runes, found by a fisherman who claimed it washed upon shore. It could be, were I able to get my hands on other fragments. Without them, this piece is useless. Still, the fact that the fisherman found it on the shore could be valuable information. Perhaps there are more ruins somewhere off the coast.